Lesson 2-6, Ratios, Rates, and Conversions. All right, we need to begin by talking about what is a rate. We've learned about them before. This will be a bit of a review. A rate is a ratio that compares quantities measured in different units. So let's back up for a second. Quick review about a ratio. Ratios compare two numbers, and we can write them two different ways. Let's say the ratio 1 to 2. We can write that with words, with a colon, or as a fraction. That's a ratio. Now, a rate is almost the same thing. It's a ratio, but they have different units. Maybe like inches to meters, or miles to gallon, something like that. That is a rate. A unit rate is a rate, but has a denominator of 1. Maybe like $10 for every one bucket of ice cream. Bucket. Okay, so the denominator is 1. This is a unit rate. Let's practice making rates into unit rates and then comparing them. We can't really compare these three different stores that all sell t-shirts until we know the unit rate or the unit price of one shirt. So store A sells 2 shirts for $25. So I'm going to write $25 to 2. Store B has 4 shirts for $45. Notice I'm setting them up the same way. Money on top, number of shirts on bottom. Store C has 3 shirts for $30. Sorry, that's a dollar sign. All right, I need to make these into unit rates. So they're all going to be equal to another fraction, but I want them to have 1 on their denominator. How do I go from 2 to 1? Well, I divide by 2. So I can do that to the top, divide by 2, and I get $12.50. So store A sells 1 t-shirt for $12.50. Store B, I need to get to a unit rate. I'm going to divide by 4 to get to 1 on the bottom. So I need to do the same thing to the top. 45 divided by 4 is $11.25 for a shirt. Divide by 3 for store number C, or letter C. Divide by 3 on top, $10 a shirt. So store C offers the best deal. You're getting each shirt for the lowest price. Let's practice making these rates a unit rate. 36 miles to 3 gallons. I want a rate that only has 1 gallon. I want a unit rate. Has the number 1. Well, how do I go from 3 to 1? I divided by 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 12 miles. 48 minutes to 3 hours. I want to know how many minutes are in 1 hour. 3 to 1. I divide by 3. 48 divided by 3 is 16 minutes. Now, this isn't actually a correct rate because we know there are actually 60 minutes in 1 hour. I think they just wanted you to practice how to make the denominator to 1 for a unit rate. All right, conversion factors. We can convert from one unit to another, such as feet to inches or miles to kilometers. But to do that, we multiply the original unit by a conversion factor. Conversion factors are ratios of 2 equivalent measures, but they're in different units. For example, 1 foot to 12 inches. They equal the same thing, but they are just in different units. So that's a conversion factor. There might be some conversion factors you know. For example, how many ounces are in a pound or how many minutes in an hour. But if you ever forget them or need to look them up, page 801 in your textbook has a great reference page for all of these conversion factors. All right, so we have 330 minutes and we want to know how many hours that is. What you do to convert, you always take what they give you, 330 minutes, and put that over 1. Then you're going to multiply by a conversion factor that you know or can look up to get you from minutes to hours. Well, I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Now the reason I put 60 minutes on bottom is you want your units to cancel out. I want my answer to be in hours, so I want my minutes to go away. And to do that, I need one on top and one on bottom. If I put the minutes on top here, they would not have canceled. So 330, now I just multiply this. I'm timesing by my conversion factor. 330 times 1 is 330. 1 times 60 is 60. Then I just do the division, and I get 5.5 hours. So we converted 330 minutes to hours. Let's try another one. 15 kilograms, and I want to know how many grams that is. So I'm going to write 15 kilograms, going to write what they tell me over 1. And I'm going to multiply it by a conversion factor. Well, I know that in 1 kilogram there are 1,000 grams. Well, I want to get rid of the kilogram, so I'm going to put that on bottom. In 1 kilogram, there are 1,000 grams. Now my kilograms cancel out. 15 times 1,000 is 15,000. Divide by 1 is 15,000 grams in 15 kilograms. So that is how to convert units. You want to find a conversion factor and multiply. All right, what if you convert units between systems, meaning metric and customary? The CN Tower in Toronto, Canada is about 1,815 feet tall. About how many meters is that tower? So feet and meters are in different metric systems. We're going to use something called dimensional analysis or unit analysis. Here's what I mean. You may have to use more than one conversion factor. Start with what they gave you. 1,815 feet. We always put that over 1. Looks like they gave us a fact. In 1 meter, there are 3.26 feet. So I'm going to use that. In 1 meter, I'm putting meter on top because I want feet to cancel out. There are 3.28 feet. All right, well, my feet labels cancel. I'm left with meters. I just multiply across 1,815, multiply across 3.28. I do the division with my calculator, and I get about 553 meters. So that tower is 553 meters tall. So you can convert between unit systems. You just have to know the conversion factors. All right. There is one more problem. I'm going to back up for a second. Going back to that dimensional analysis. If I have a student that ran a 50-yard dash, and they did it in 5.8 seconds, really fast. At what speed did the student run in miles per hour? So I know how many yards per second, but I want to know how many miles per hour. Here's a dimensional analysis like I talked about. Start with what you know. Put 50 yards over the 5.8 seconds, because that's what I know. Now, I will need to use more than one conversion factor because I'm going from yards to miles and seconds to hours. So first, pick one. Well, I know that if you look in your book, in 1 mile, there are 1,760 yards. Okay, so now my yards labels cancel. And I have miles, which is what I want in my final answer. Now I need to get seconds to hours. Well, I know that in 1 hour, there are 3,600 seconds. Now my seconds labels cancels out, and I have per hour, which is what I want as well. Now I multiply across. 50 times 1 times 3,600. I get 180,000 miles over 5.8 times 1,760 is 10,208 hours. This simplifies to about 17.6 miles per hour. So dimensional analysis involves using more than one conversion factor. Now we can go to our lesson check. Please complete 1 through 4 along with your notes and bring these to class.